Hi everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me open chat for all the people who come in early. There we go. Everyone. Hello. Hello, Habibi. Someone said something. Intermediate solitary dev here, full-time job. How do I get into the Web3 space now? करते हैं बात. I think towards the end, we'll probably have another masterclass where we'll talk about what paths to take from here. But yeah, konnichiwa, konnichiwa. It's pretty good. It's going okay. How are you guys? TRPC and GraphQL are important for jobs? Not really, but that's how you differentiate yourself, right? And it depends on like where you're applying for a job. But yeah, you haven't. Oh, thank you, Anuj. I will keep that in mind. Let me just forward that to our rookie here, and then he'll probably take care of that. But good point, sir. Good point. You make a very good point. Cool. Hello. We will have a longer Q&A session today. So if you stick to the very end, I'm happy to answer all the questions people have. Oh, college students are saying next week onwards exams. Sounds right. Oktoberfest. Cool. It's not too cold here. It's kind of cold. Some days, but most days it's fine. Is it better to work in HFT in India rather than remote job? HFT in India is not the worst thing in the world, but depends on how well you can grow there and how much you can learn from there. List of talent platforms. I gave 3 yesterday. I can find more, but like the actionable ones that I'm part of, I know there's a path to get in. I gave yesterday. Cool. All right. Review Oktoberfest repo today for contributions. What does that mean? Please review Oktoberfest repo today for contributions. I don't know what that means. I've never participated in that. I've heard about Oktoberfest. I don't know what it is. A.team. I've heard of this one, but let's see. 2 more minutes and then we'll start, guys. A.team. No, I haven't heard of this one actually. It was a different one. That was X.team or something. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm happy to, apply to these and tell you if they're good or not. But yeah, the actionable ones are the ones that I told you, and it doesn't matter if they're good or not. I never got any sort of listing from Brain Trust. I'm still part of the network, so you don't really need, like get in there. If it's not good, it's not good, right? So that would be my advice. Let's share the screen. So the important thing in today's session is literally 2 minutes of information, but would highly suggest you stick to the end because there are some cautions. Many times in our journey or my journey of sharing about things on GitHub, on YouTube, a lot of people have flogged to projects, and whenever that happens, the project ends up hiring no one. In today's class, I can see there are around 300-ish plus people, which is more than how many people usually come, because I guess these classes are more exciting. Please don't shuru mein understand what that rasta is and start applying and it's a zero-sum game if everyone does that. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie that I'm forgetting the name again, which is we should all focus on the better for everyone, which means if you try to do something bad, most probably someone else is doing that bad thing, the prisoner's dilemma, I guess, and that won't end very well. No one will get a job, basically. I'm going to share some very insightful things. I think these are good ways to get jobs. These are ways people recently got jobs. These are not past bull run ways to get jobs. These are current ways to get jobs. So I just started the recording as well. My only big caution here is go through the complete video. I'll be sharing when you should start applying. Complete all of those videos, get your GitHub up a little bit, and then start applying from that rasta. Then it will be more actionable. Else you'll just cut down opportunities for other people because you'll just be flocking the founders of these companies, and then they'll be like, oh, why are there so many people from India applying? I'll not take anyone. They'll take other people less interestingly. Okay. So please stick to the very end. Today, we're going to discuss where to apply for jobs an actionable path I have found recently, and my brother got into a job like 2 weeks ago using this. He's in college, 20 LPA job, I think. Not too bad, not very great, but a remote job, 20 LPA in a startup that has recently raised money is a good place to be in for a third year college student. How to apply to these places, which means now that you know these are the companies you have to apply to, how should you approach them? Should you go to their jobs portal? Should you do something else? That's the second thing we'll discuss. How much money to ask based on your current level. Interview preparation, what should be needed? What do they usually ask? These are purely based on what my brother was asked. And then usually I know a company at this stage, they probably are looking for something like this. And finally, I'm open to doing GitHub reviews, and we'll keep the AMA longer today. As I said, important knowledge is literally the next 2 minutes, which is when I'm going to share, this is where you have to go to apply, or this is how you find a job. After that, there are some cautions. Please stick until at least the next 1 hour, and then it's AMA and GitHub reviews. So if you want to send your GitHub, I'll basically tell you based on your GitHub, should you apply or not? And if you should not apply right now, what you should change in the next 2 months, what projects you should contribute to, what kind of personal projects should you build, so that then your GitHub resume looks good enough for you to apply. Okay, let's get right into it. YC startups. This is the final 2 minute, 1 minute, literally 1 second advice. This is where you need to go. This is the advice that I gave to my brother. And then he applied into one of these companies and got in. What are YC startups? YC is I'm sure some of you know, some of you might not know. It's an accelerator in the US. Every 6 months, they have a batch where they give the batch $500K US as seed funding. And then these batches usually raise a lot of money after that. Most startups in every batch of Y Combinator, by the end of their Y Combinator sort of 3 month, whatever they have, 3 month cohort, they all raise $1 to $5 million at a valuation of usually $25 to $30 million. So they are recently funded looking for engineers, very common, and they are at their seed stage, which means they want to cut down costs, which is where remote software developers are super helpful. This is my advice. This is my pitch. These are the companies I would apply to. This is the page. Happy to post it in chat, but I guess you guys can just look at it and type it out. Here you can find all YC companies from the current batch. As I said, there are multiple batches: summer 2023, winter 2023, summer 2022, winter 2022, so on and so forth. Number of companies, for example, the last batch were 218, usse pehle there were 272. You go here, you look at, okay, what are the startups that got in this year? Read about them, what are they doing? Maybe hopefully you understand some of this. A lot of these are AI startups because, well, AI is on the boom. So almost 50% of the YC current batch is AI. Last batch was not, but this one is. Next one, no one knows. But irrespective of what the companies, they will most probably require full stack engineers to build their websites, because all of these companies will eventually have a website like this that you go to. And when even their final product, for example, this is a pretty ugly website. If this founder who has recently raised 500K, this is an AI startup, which means they're pretty sure they're going to raise $1 mil, $2 mil very soon. If you tell them, literally for this guy, I just redesign their page and send it to them. I would redesign this thing. Hey, you have a very professional, whatever, looks like you guys are on the right path. You got into Y Combinator recently. Your website looks shit. You don't say that. You say that very humbly. That's what I'm saying. But you said, okay, I thought there were a bunch of improvements I could make to your website. And this is a variation I've made for your website. Build it in the best stack, build it in TypeScript, write really clean code, maybe add light themes, dark themes here, and send it to them. Perfect pitch. I can't think of why you would not get at least an interview after that. All of these are such companies which are basically recently raised. Pick and choose. Don't message everyone here. I'll throw, random arrows at the dart and then maybe one will hit. Find one that you think you can at least understand the product a little bit, and then look at least whether or not they're like rocket startups here, like, deep tech startups. They most probably won't require a full stack engineer. But most AI startups here, a bunch of non-AI startups, for example, Rippling for supply chain sounds, maybe not this one, but like an all-in-one POS store for POS for liquor stores, basically a payment gateway for liquor stores, probably needs websites. I'm trying to find non-AI projects. Instant coding playground for any doc website. Most probably instant coding playground means something like Replit. So they probably need front-end engineers. So I can basically go on here, but I would try to choose platforms. This one has open source here. Open source fraud prevention platform for marketplaces, which might mean they already have some open source code base. So you basically have a list of companies now. try to approach summer 2020 through winter 2022, 2023 and winter 2023, because these are the most recently funded. They are most probably looking for most engineers. You can go down the lane, but these will be the most sort of actively hiring platforms. That's the big alpha for today. This is specific knowledge that you guys know now. Life is about information arbitrages. There are a lot of good engineers, much better engineers than me that don't make as much. There are a bunch of dumber engineers than me that make more money. Life is all about information arbitrages. Getting into companies, unfortunately, jobs are about information arbitrages. There is an arbitrage that you know about right now. So try to basically keep it to yourself and try to apply. Happy to share, feel free to share as well. I don't know, but eventually at some point, if I share this on my YouTube today, basically, then this is no longer an arbitrage. Then everyone knows about it, right? Once this gets closed, at some point, I might even share it on YouTube, but this is not getting shared, at least on my YouTube, for a really long time. So right now you have the opportunity to go to these companies, but before you do that, wait for the rest of the video. I'm going to talk about a few things. Keep that in mind and then apply. You have 2 to 3 months still. By then, the next batch will also come here. So you will have batches. Just make sure you're sticking to the script, which are a few things I'm going to share here, which sort of helped my brother. The first company he applied to, he got in. So I would say you do that as well. Okay. How to apply? Some companies might have a careers page. As you can see, most of them don't. These are really new startups. They've just, come out. So most probably they don't have a careers page. Most probably they have 2 employees in the company right now, the founder 1 and founder 2. So you have to DM the founder. If they have an HR, very low probability, but if not, most probably you have to just DM the HR, which if you go here, you'll most probably find the LinkedIns for the founders of the company. The right person to message here, for example, might be the CTO and not the CEO or some other founder. Give them a very nice pitch. I'm going to share soon what that pitch might be. How to apply. So this should be a pitch. Make sure you guys can probably see my screen. Let me just share, but I think. All right. Make sure you provide a value. What do I mean by that? Sorry, I just want to make sure you guys can see my screen. I did something. Rookie, let me know if I'm not sharing my screen. Make sure you provide value. India usually when we approach, and I talked about this yesterday, the way we approach is very Naukri de do types, I don't know how that comes from, I don't know where that comes from, but we feel like the CEO is above us or something. That does not happen in remote jobs. People are at the same level. People talk very candidly. You're not supposed to call them sir or ma'am. Sir, I'm looking for a job. I'm happy to do XYZ. You are going to provide value. Make sure your pitch is, I'm going to provide value in X. I'm going to share a very nice template very soon. But yeah, high level, very big advice is, no sirs, no niche wali tone. You are at the same level. You talk to them very professionally, even if you're a college grad. Keep a solid GitHub handy. This is the biggest advice after the video, after the Y Combinator thing. Your GitHub is your resume. Something you cannot really fake. Your contributions are there. People will open your code and look at what you coded, what kind of code you write. Is it clean? Is it not clean? All that jazz. So keep a solid GitHub handy. If you don't have it yet, don't apply yet. You have next 2 months. Tail ke do contributions in either open source projects. Even if not that, create projects of your own. Deploy them on the internet. Put them on GitHub. Try to get some of them viral. Post about them on Twitter. But your GitHub is your resume. The first thing, these people have no time. They're actively fundraising at the moment and trying to build a product and approaching investors. They need to see things. They literally will take 2 minutes to decide whether or not they're giving you an interview. A clean GitHub, solid GitHub is at least going to help you get there. So if you have an empty GitHub, if you have a GitHub that is green, but the contributions are not great. If you know you've written ugly code and put it on a personal project or somewhere else, don't apply yet. Write nice contributions for the next 2 months, then apply. These are seed stage startups. So ideally, you should charge in this range. I think if you go over 60K, slightly hard for them. 60K, beautiful. One big check mark. If you ask for less than 60K, which is 50 LPA basically, good check mark. One check mark sorted. They don't really care if you ask 50, 40, 30, 20. Of course, if you ask less than 20 and apply as an intern, it's a different story. But if you're applying full-time as an employee, you have some experience, or if you graduated from college, if you're not applying for an intern, 60K is not a bad number. 50K is even better. 50 to 60K, your one checkbox is sorted. He's not worried about compensation then. They're just worried about, ye banda kaisa kaam karta hai, how does he work? If you're in college, you want to apply as an intern, ideally apply as an intern. This is the rental comp for an intern, which is 15 to 20K is pretty solid. And again, one of those checkboxes, they'll just continue with your interview. Type of companies. So YC batches की shape keeps changing. This batch, current batch, is almost 50% AI. Some very small chunk of Web3 companies, and then some full stack companies. This is the general distribution, but as you can see, AI is at the top. You don't need to know AI well. If you know AI, great. Of course, you need to know AI if you want to join them at a very high salary package. But if you want to join them at one of these numbers as a full stack engineer, then you can approach AI companies, you can approach full stack companies, preferably approach them with some variation of their landing page. If they have some open source code, preferably contribute to that first. That is what will catch the eye of the CEO or the CTO. Okay, this person actually worked. If you just message them, okay, hey, I'm applying, there are 1,000 people applying, even like there are like whatever, 300 people on the call, let's say. So many people will apply, right? And some of you will apply to every company out there. So you have to differentiate yourself. Luckily, you have to differentiate yourself from a smaller crowd right now because not a lot of people know this, but you still have to differentiate yourself. So give them something extra, give them something personalized, which means make some variation in the landing page and give it to them, especially if they have a very ugly landing page right now. That's immediate value. You give immediate value to someone, they'll at least give you an interview, maybe more. You give them immediate value. They want to give you an interview. You give them these numbers, which are very humble. They're at least, the ball is rolling in the right direction then. Your pitch. This is a general format I've written. Change it. Don't copy it. A lot of people will copy it and then they'll know that this is coming from some template. But general template is this. Hi, I'm a 2020 graduate in computer science, 2022 graduate in computer science. If you're in EC, CS is fine. If you're in chemical, then maybe don't write CS, just 2020 undergrad. Have worked with X in the past, which means if you worked at Fang, write that. If you worked at a different startup, maybe don't write the startup's name unless it's very popular, right? I've worked in the fintech industry as a software developer for the past X years, and I'm comfortable with the MERN stack. Would like to get in touch in case you're hiring if my experience seems fit. Simple, straightforward. This part is a good enough pitch. They will know what you're trying to tell them. You don't have to go longer than this. Important bits are after this. You can find some of my projects here. Put your GitHub here. Here is a list of contributions I've made to various companies. Most important part of your pitch. And maybe I would add a third thing here. I made a redesign of your website and deployed it here. Whatever.com. बस ठीक है. So you can this is good enough. Maybe change it a little bit. But yeah, this is the high level pitch. This section matters the most. Your GitHub will matter. Your contributions that you have made generally to other organizations will matter. Your redesign. If you are doing that, I would urge you to do that. Or if you have made open source contributions to that company, put them here. This is your fairly simple pitch. How much money to ask? As I've already said, if you're in college, maybe this number, 0 to 2 years of experience, maybe this number, 2+ years of experience. If you're already making 50 LP in India, then it does not make sense for you to ask for 50K. Of course, pump up the numbers if you lie in that bracket. But if not, then this is good starting remote work company offer to start from. You can do other things. There are other ways to make money later on after you get one first offer. Mere hisab se, don't start with 100K because there are engineers in the US charging 100K. You are not giving them anything extra if you charge the same number. In India, you can save taxes. If someone is living in SF, they're paying on that 100K almost 35-40% taxes. In India, you can save taxes in certain ways. So don't over leverage on 100K hi chahiye. I think these are good numbers. These are humble numbers. These are what give them so he's from India, but he's not charging as much. Maybe the time zone isn't the same, the accent isn't the same, but it's fine. He's saving me a lot of money. If he provides the same value as a guy in the US, it's a win-win for me. I will hire this guy. Interview questions. Let's talk about this. Usually, no DSA. For my brother, there was no DSA. He has made some open source contributions. So he, of course, pointed to his GitHub. They saw them. They did not ask for a live interview. They did not ask for code along assignments that usually I've had in my non-YC company interviews. But I think if you have good open source contributions, no one really asks. Of course, in remote jobs, there is always sort of a probationary period. I've never seen that get affected. Like you don't really ever get fired if you're good in your probational period. So that thing will be there, but don't worry too much about that. This is one of the reasons they will look at your contributions. They're like, they're straightforward. If you've already given them a front end redesign of their website, they'll be like, this is pretty good. I can pursue and at least give this guy a chance. Worst case for them is they have to give you 2-3 months of compensation, which is not a lot of money for these companies. So So yeah, no DSA. They will look at past projects. They will look at your GitHub. They will look at your college projects. They won't really look at it, but like if you're in college, you don't have much to show. So maybe show your, hospital management system. Within AI Web3, have you done something? So as I said, 50% of the batches are AI. So my brother, his parents are doctors, and his dad had some AI machine imagery come. He bought some machine that did some AI stuff. He literally mentioned that as his AI experience. AI is a new field. They don't really expect you to do some research, but you should know about the field. Tell them I built a ChatGPT plugin. Tell them I did, I don't know, understood or wrote a blog on how you can, code auto generates in like VS Code extensions, things like these. So some domain experience helps. This is just, extra points that you're trying to grab here, 5-10 points, 5-10 points. The majority points come from your GitHub and the way you're approaching your English, you're not calling them sir, things like these. But they will ask you at some point, what made you interested in our company? We're an AI company. Have you done AI before? Does it intrigue you? Why does it intrigue you? Things like these. Did you get the time to research our product? That's also another important question that, not an important question, but they will ask, did you look at our product? Do you know what we do? So tell them, basically do that research before the interview. You don't have to do that before when you are messaging them, but during the interview, do this research. Background research, they will ask, how did you find about us? What makes this job role interesting? So don't say, I found it in a cohort. I heard about it in a cohort. You have to be like, I'm actively looking out to find a job in the AI space because it seems like it's going to be the future. I've done some AI in college. I've done the Andrew NG course. So Andrew NG has a course, the very famous Coursera course on deep learning. Maybe do that. Maybe tell that you've done that. And I recently became extremely interested as large language models are becoming so powerful. So I feel like I want to make a career in this industry. Your job role seems very fit to aligns with my long-term goals of becoming of working in the AI field. I'm very good at full stack, so I feel that is where I can contribute the most to your company, but happy to talk more after 6 months to a year as to how my role evolves, because I am interested in AI or Web3 or healthcare, whatever that specific startup might do. Yeah, that's it. That's the interview questions that you should prepare for, maybe. That's all I had for today. We can expand this more. I can talk more about this, but I guess you guys have actionable items to do now. I really want to focus on what GitHub should apply now, what GitHub should not apply, and more specifically, if you have not done any of these videos, maybe don't apply the ones that I've posted in the announcement sections, which means at least maybe know the MERN stack completely, built at least 2 websites, deployed them on your GitHub, deployed them on Vercel. That part is important. And after that, apply. Now I'm going to open chat and I'm opening it for GitHub reviews. So send me your GitHubs if you've done at least something, and I'll tell you, this looks good enough, apply, or if this does not look, this is missing, don't apply. All right. Let's go. Don't apply is the high level pitch here, sir, because, completely empty and I only see your resume here. So yeah, bunch of folks, course app, next login. Oh, wait, maybe I spoke too soon. 1 second. Why can I not open this? Okay, let's see. So this is how I would review someone's GitHub if they applied to my company. Seems like they've at least forked this project, which makes me assume that they have contributed to this project. But this project only has 4 contributions. I'm so confused here. It has a lot of folks. So I wrote, okay. I guess this is again so seems very student-friendly GitHub. Okay, done the standard course selling application, no external contributions, pretty empty generally the first looks of it. So unfortunately, at this point, I would not apply. I would, 1, bump up these numbers, 2, make some contributions in real companies, 3, at least post some projects, make them live. Let's see if you have them live somewhere. So there is sorting visualizer, but in like JavaScript, yellow flag, everything put in the top level folder, yellow flag, no, so like देख के समझ आ रहा है कि seems like a junior engineer. So you can apply as an intern if you want, but I would not apply. Generally, I would say, thoda make it stronger and then apply. Okay, that's the first one. Let's keep going. Does not look too bad. If I'm pretty good actually. Let's see. My Web3 projects. I mean, so Web3 company would be pretty impressed by this. This guy seems like he's done a bunch of things, looks fairly professional if I'm being honest. Yep, aankhein band karke, I think you can apply to a Web3 company in the YC patch or otherwise. This is basically good enough. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to have like a completely green graph, but this is very good. This is like, especially if you're applying to, so don't apply to an AI company with this because your experience isn't really relevant there. But other than that, this is pretty good. Yeah, I would love to know what happened after you applied to a few companies, let's say, and were you able to get in? Were you able to actually get an interview? Because this is actually pretty good. Let me just look at your code a little because that's something I would usually do. I would urge you to move some files to TypeScript. If you don't have to, frankly, it's not the worst. Yeah, don't shove everything in the index.js file. Definitely some things you can change, but your variety of projects is great and code quality isn't the best at the moment. So would urge you to, break these down into components, standard things, and then apply and maybe move your projects to TypeScript. But other than that, fairly good project. Sorry, GitHub. I would apply if I was you. Let's see, second. So don't see too much activity. See a bunch of these 3 commit, 5 commit projects. Not super impressive, but at least good for me to see ke making sure everything is up and up. Good enough for me to know what kind of code you like, right? But .js is where, not the Turlo type. TypeScript is sort of bare minimum. All you have to do, maybe even if you don't have the best types, maybe convert your project to a TypeScript project, preferably use Zod for validation. These are small things that if there is a CTO, CEO in the company, they will look at. They'll be like, because this, unfortunately, this is like any tutorial on YouTube, right? How to build a basic React project. The 2 things to focus on are code quality, which here doesn't feel too bad. I see components broken down into different files, so not bad. Yeah, this is actually pretty good in terms of the code quality that you've written. But the only maybe remove this, like standard things. But yeah, this is not too bad when it comes to the code quality. The only other thing I would say is, move them to TypeScript and then maybe do a bunch of more real open source contributions. I would love to see someone who's, contributed to an organization. That is something I haven't seen yet. All right. So I've said this a few times. I don't know if this helps or not. I haven't seen it on any good Git users, like good solid engineers GitHub. So if I was you, I would check this out. I don't know if there's other advice on YouTube or elsewhere. I usually do. I don't have it on my GitHub. I don't find a bunch of good project people have it. If you do want it, maybe add few lines about yourself, what you're interested in. But yeah, generally maybe feel free to get rid of it. Some activity I see, React project I see. Is it a JavaScript project or TypeScript project? It is a JavaScript project. So step 1, the first thing you need to change, JavaScript. Looks decently structured. I don't see any state management here, although I do see state management. So not bad. Do I see a live link? I do see a live link. So pretty good checkboxes, basically. Yeah, feel free to apply. Just convert to JavaScript. Maybe modulify this, which basically means, use turbo repo to create a mono repo. That is all. Pretty professional. Replace your README with this is what it does. These are the modules. These are the components. Write them down here. This is how you can contribute. This is how you can set up the project locally. If you guys are already at this stage, maybe add a Docker file in there that lets other people, set it up locally, things like these. But yeah, this is pretty good. You can apply. Before you apply, just solid advice to convert your project to TypeScript. Maybe add containerization to it, maybe use some fancy GraphQL servers somewhere, add project steps to set it up locally, and then yeah, you're good to go. I think you can apply. Oh, sorry, I cannot copy this one. Let me open a few together. Oh, this looks pretty decent. So this is where I'm like, okay, this might not be an external contribution. Maybe I spoke too soon. The real Dhruv, web dev open source, 5 stars, Hacktoberfest. This is a mild yellow flag for me. The people in the US might not know Hacktoberfest, but I know this is like a place where people sort of flock. So maybe not that. But it looks like you've made a bunch of contributions. I'm trying to find, one in, course contributions. Say it feels like this is a student GitHub, open source practice, course Next.js auth. So take it, not too bad. You have contributions. Let's look at your code. So as you can see, everyone's GitHub is similar here. So the question really is, so TypeScript is pretty good, by the way. The question really is how you can differentiate yourself from everyone else now who's applying, let's say from the cohort. The answer there would be things like the things that we've done in the end, that a few of you have done, few of you have not done, which is TypeScript, containerizing your applications, fixing the readmes here, adding setup projects locally. And then if, as I'm seeing more and more GitHubs, I see a lot of them have projects there. Basically, this would be enough. If someone approached me today with something like this, I'd be like, I'll definitely interview for an intern position 100% for sure, because you can write websites. Maybe the frequency of projects needs to be more. Maybe there needs to be one capstone project here that literally has, 2 backends, 2 front ends, uses Moon repos, all that jazz, and is deployed. And I can try it out, but let's see. Yeah, I guess you have this one, but again, course selling app, everyone has now. So maybe do a project of your own that's actually deployed somewhere that people can look at. So I can click a link here and I can reach your project. All right, Abhishek, let's do this. So plus trade reconcilers. This is jahan meri aankhein thodi phati ki what has this guy done? What is reconciler? Basic attempt to replicate the React reconciler at the very basic level. It depends on understanding of how DOM manipulation works under the hood. This is pretty good. Only I would make this a TypeScript project, but this is pretty good. These are the things that really differentiate you. Okay, everyone has written a course selling website. This guy has written a reconciler on its own. So most probably I would ask this person in the interview, okay, why did you write this? Tell me how this works. Do you know how this actually works in React? How React creates a reconciler. I would maybe take them through the React. Maybe this is too much, but like basically this is pretty solid. This is a good project to have. Now, some of you may now start putting this at your project, at which point it might not become a good project because everyone has it. But right now, so this is something extra that this guy has done. I like it. And I don't know what this is. I would probably remove it. Book trade, elevate ED, query optimization, B-tree. Excuse me. Yeah, this looks pretty solid, dude. I would ask you to explain this. This seems like a college project or something. I could be wrong. But yeah, my basic advice is, yeah, good to go. I think you can apply. Your projects look pretty solid. This probably might be some of the best ones we've looked at until now. JSX to TSX. Other than that, pretty solid. All right. Akshit. Twitter clone. Super excited to see this. This is a good project to have. If you're literally copy Twitter end-to-end, front-end and back-end, or not end-to-end, but like basic functionalities, pretty solid. Let's see. Prisma. I like this. This one's good. Again, just update the README. There is a link. I would open this. Not too bad. I hope this works because this is pretty solid actually, sir. I mean, I would explore this basically. If this person applied to sort of my company. Pretty solid. This is exactly what I was looking for. So yeah, this is pretty good. I would definitely apply if this was you. I would, in fact, maybe give this as, I've written Twitter clone in the past. This is what it looks like, kind of a thing. Now I would just look at your code to make sure, you've actually done the commits and not copied this from somewhere. But yeah, that doesn't seem to be the case. Generally, when you're creating commits, create them, like add your code slowly in various commits so that it feels like you're the one who's written it. A lot of times you can copy this project from somewhere. That would be my only concern here. Okay, has this guy done this? Because this looks pretty good. So yeah, but other than that, I would apply if I was you. Actually, this in itself is a very solid project to have on your resume, or whatever, GitHub. Cool. I think this one, the Saras. Long story short is yes, I think you should do it. But let me just look at your code. Maybe update the README to just have project details and not personal details. But other than that, this looks pretty solid. TS source. What is that? Oh, some TypeScript learning kind of a thing. Okay, sounds good. Pretty good, pretty solid. You can apply basically. Yes, good to go. Let's see. Jatin. So looks empty. Portfolio, what's the React? YouTube V1. I would like to see this. Not deployed somewhere. I would deploy it. I would look at the code. I would convert JavaScript to TypeScript. Look at the components. Yeah, pretty good. You can apply basically. So what I'm seeing in my initial reviews, a bunch of you have definitely decent GitHubs for you to start applying. Basically, my brother does not have too good a GitHub compared to this. The only difference is he has contributed to some companies outside. So that is the only thing that might be missing. You can probably apply without that as well. So with a resume or whatever, a GitHub like this, I would apply. Let's see, Karthik. Yep, I would remove this. I would, have your own projects here. And pretty good. When I would ask why you forked React Router, have you contributed to it? So this is how I might be missing some contributions, but this is how I would look at it if someone applies, to my company. What exactly have they asked, or like what exactly have they done? Again, JavaScript to TypeScript components look pretty decent. This is actually fairly the right things have been done here. Some small sort of advices that senior engineers look at is this should have been a variable, not a big thing, but like something to know. Maybe should have used Axios. But your components are like pretty well structured, so this isn't bad at all. So this is also pretty good. I would apply with this GitHub, Karthik. All right, going to do a poll today. Is this something we should do? Should we do more GitHub reviews? Yes or no? The other option is, can we just do normal AMA? Should we do GitHub reviews? Yes or no? Right, 62%. So we're going to do some more GitHub reviews. I'm going to open chat. If you've already been, I've already looked at yours, please don't post again. Open. Pause. Okay, I think we have enough for the day. Lean charity. Oh, so you've literally sent the project. Let's see. Let's look at the project first. Yep. Mild yellow flags in terms of how it's, how it looks right now. Doesn't look great, but you're not a designer, so companies don't really care. A very basic thing to have here is authentication, which seems like you do have login. I don't see sign up, but let's see. Might just be a front-end only app. Yep. So yeah, the ones that you've deployed, generally good. Both front-end, back-end are there. Again, other standard things apply to you. Update the README, containerize it, all that jazz. So as you can see, there are some things missing in every one, which is no one has containerized it. A lot of people have used JavaScript, including this guy. So I would definitely, that is what is differentiating you from the other ones, right? So move to TypeScript. But yeah, at this GitHub, I would also apply. I think you're in a decent position to apply to companies. Let's see. This also looks pretty interesting to me. I would basically ask you a lot of questions on this. Why did you do this? What does this mean? Why did you have to use Nginx? Did you look at other alternatives when you were trying to do this? So all that jazz. But yeah, this is also pretty solid. Well, this is pretty good. I would ask a bunch of questions here. I would interview this person. All right, let's move on. I think this was done. This was done. Let's open a few more. All right. I would put an anon photo maybe. Purely because you look a little young, so people might judge based on that. They may not. This might be an old photo. I don't know, but I would put like an anon photo here. An anon photo basically means an avatar or something like that. Contribution graph looks pretty decent. I would go here. TypeScript looks pretty solid. Oh, this isn't yours. You forked it. I would go here and look at your contributions if you've made any. And you have made a lot of contributions here. So big check mark. I would pursue talking to you. Let's see, what have you made though? And pretty recently also. I don't see a lot of code contributions. I see like translations and other things. Yeah, this is not bad. This is good. But the problem is like most of your contributions are, well, I guess they're cool. It's fine. Basically good. Pretty good. And who is this company? Zen. This probably might be a place where you work, or I don't know. But yeah, pretty solid. You've worked at someone else's project that looks like a, let's see, looks like a professional project. Looks like a freelancing project that you might have picked up. But I can look at your code here. I understand, TK. You based looking at your code, you look like a junior engineer right now, purely because of the contributions you're making at the moment. I would still talk to you definitely if you've applied as an intern, maybe otherwise as well. All right. Done. Looks pretty empty. I don't see any contributions for a long time. Let's see. Update the README. I know you can write React code now. I don't see a differentiating factor. Now that I'm seeing so many of these, I'm really looking for a differentiating factor. It's like doesn't look like the best. What do you call it? UX design here. So you can apply. I would maybe not apply. Basically, if I was you, I would one bump up the contribution numbers. Two, so you can or not contribute to other projects, but maybe build one project here and give it a star here, and have it deployed and it looks slightly better. Let's see. Yeah, this is like all of these look. No YC company wants a website that looks like this, right? They want much more professional website. So use Tailwind, clone a design. You don't have to design it yourself. Clone a design from anywhere else and put it on your website. Versus a project like these. Because they are going to look at these, and then if I'm a company CEO and I look at this, I'm like, I don't really want my website to look like this, so I would not hire or maybe not interview. So more design centric projects, maybe design them a little better. All righty, React Twitter clone. Did I do this already? Someone else had a Twitter clone as well. Oh wow, not too bad at all. Not bad at all. Yep. This is pretty good. Let's look at your code. Again, TypeScript. Current things like add ESLint to your project. These extra spaces don't look great. Yeah, other than that, the code looks okay. I mean, like it looks decent. Move to TypeScript. update your README, containerize it, all that jazz. But yeah, pretty good. You can apply, sir. Just looking at this project, I would, if you ask me a humble number, I'm applying at, I just want 40K, 50K US dollars. I would at least interview you. Cool. Let's move on. I think I did this already. Yeah, put a clone. Nippon has sent me a project called Skillify, which I don't see deployed somewhere. Oh, I do see screenshots. I don't see a link here. That would be nice to see, because no one has the time to set up your project. I do like the fact that there is an admin client, a user client. Let's look at your code. Again, only JavaScript. I like that you've used Redux, an empty user email.js file. Like these are yellow flags. I would complete the whole thing, then deploy it somewhere, put it here, and then send the link to the project. But yeah, your GitHub also looks fairly empty. So I would do more things here. I would maybe not apply if I was you right now. 2 months, I would do some things. And by some things, I mean create a project of my own, which are very professionally looking. Design wise also and code wise also, which means structure into various modules, use the most recent technologies, use GraphQL, use gRPC, build the front end, back end, deploy, and containerize your application. Have set up procedures, how they can set it up locally, maybe add docs, documentation pages, then apply with at least one project like this. All right, I think I'm giving a lot of repeated advice here. So let me go through a few more. Then we can pause and do something else like Q&A or whatever. Components, yeah. Decent, not great. I can't really put my finger onto why that is. Let's see if this works. This would probably be pretty interesting. Yeah, I would just put a link here where you have a working demo of a video sharing website. Let's see. So, okay, not great. Basically, I may or may not take you as a give you an interview if you approach me. So most probably I won't. So maybe more projects, more contributions, and yeah. Like an empty GitHub, only 22 contributions in the last year. So if you have other places where you contribute, maybe mention that. Yeah, this is basically don't send your GitHub if it looks something like this. It's not going to give you an edge. Rather, tell them I work at an XYZ company and this was my role if you've worked somewhere else. Because yeah, this is like a yellowish flag. I don't see too many contributions. I see similar projects to other people we've seen, which is like standard React project, hooks, state management, which is good, not great. I'm not saying you cannot apply. I'm saying I don't see a factor where I would immediately be like, I want to talk to this person. So mostly that, I think last thing I would try would be, does login actually work? Seems like there's a request going out. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. At least you have something deployed somewhere. What is this project? So this point I would be intrigued. Oh, this guy's made Google Drive. So okay, let's see. I would definitely want to look at how they've made it. Does it actually work? And this is a good question I would ask you if you join. How does this actually work? Okay, upload. Let's upload a random image here. Looks pretty good. Stored in Firebase. I would interview you. I take my words back if I said otherwise. This would be pretty impressive for me to see. And even though this looks ugly, the functionality here is pretty solid. Okay, you understand how you can post images somewhere. You're able to create this directory structure, which itself is pretty hard. So I would interview you, sir. I would urge you to interview. I would urge you to put this project at the forefront. I have made a Google Drive clone, because when I saw your GitHub, I was like, sure, this it looks great, but this project does look great. So I would put this specifically. And now I'm actually looking at other projects that you've built as well. All right. Pretty good. Extremely good. Okay, you've written tests as well. Basically, yes, I would talk to you if you applied. I would definitely urge you to apply. I think you will at least get an interview based on the contributions or like the projects. All right, good, Kirat. All right, DJS app, and then personal portfolios. No one looks at personal portfolios. So I'm just going to look at Wheat, DJS app, and okay, so I want to look at that.